The mission of ID.me is to make the world a more trusted place by facilitating efficient and transparent interactions between people and organizations. The company started when Matt Thompson, who is a co-founder, and I were at Harvard Business School. We had two classmates, one of whom had to go active duty Navy, and the other one was just a buddy of ours. Got together and we realized that the military community didn't have a way to interact in a trusted way online. That's really what it came down to. We noticed that it's very difficult for military families and veterans to get access to benefits they'd earned because there was no way to prove that they were actually affiliated with the military when they were online. So there was a lot of inefficient behavior. Microsoft wanted veterans to bring DD-214s and separation paperwork to claim e-learning vouchers, and the vet had to go to a Department of Labor office with their paperwork to do that. That seemed very broken. And then we noticed that Craigslist didn't serve certain military installations where families were moving all the time. So there's literally a gap in the market. And we initially focused on the Craigslist opportunity at the beginning as maybe the very first way that we could help the military. But that's how it started, was just from that observation that the military community didn't have a trusted way to interact online. Our first hypothesis about how to make the quality of life better for military families was that we would go to USAA, we would go to military.com, and we'd say, hey, we're going to build this white labeled classified platform for the military. You guys have tremendous distribution. You can white label it, and then as listings are created and populated, we can fill the hole in the market that's been left because Craigslist isn't available to military families at these places. And so the initial meetings were actually very, very positive. Unfortunately, a few months after I talked with USAA, I called our contact down there and I said, well, how long until we can get this thing going? And they said, well, fast for us is 18 months and normal is maybe 2 to 3 years. And with those kind of timelines in mind and not a lot of money in the bank, at that point we said, well, at least I wasn't willing to take 2 to 3 years of the best years of my life just to wait to see if I could be right or not. Daily Deal was very hot at the time. And we said, well, maybe if we made this a gated garden for just military offers, then brands would kind of put their exclusive military promotions onto this platform. And that's something that we can do today instead of having to wait 2 to 3 years to run an experiment. I definitely learned to be an entrepreneur from my military service. And the first tangible example of that was when my platoon was deployed to Iraq. I led a group of scouts and snipers, so 3 scout teams in the battalion sniper section. And normally our mission was we were never supposed to be detected. If we did engage the enemy, we did it with precision and stealth, and then we were gone because we're a very light unit. So immediately when we got into country, my commander said, forget everything that you've ever learned about being a scout or about leading, and deploying your snipers. You're now a direct action force. And they turned us into the equivalent of a SWAT team, where we were given, this whiz-bang equipment that we could use to target high-value targets. So mostly senior Al-Qaeda leadership and Iranian Al-Quds force, affiliated militias. And we had no training on it, right? So we went from being a stealth unit to being direct action. We were given all this stuff, and we were going into combat in 2 weeks. And so over the course of our 15-month deployment, I think the theater success rate for our mission, the kill capture missions that we were running, was about 42%. And for the first 2 months, we were about 20 to 25%, which is to say that we sucked. But month 3, we were about average, and then we had some high-profile captures that raised our visibility and gave us a broader mandate. We kept improving, and by the end of that 15-month deployment, we were one of the most successful high-value target platoons in the entire Iraqi theater, and the tactics that we developed were being taught to other units throughout special operations and everything else. And that experience taught me that if I can take a group of guys who are willing to learn and willing to work hard under some of the most difficult and stressful situations imaginable, then maybe I could do that in business too. And we had a meaningful impact through our time over there, and hopefully well on our way here to having a meaningful impact where today we touch thousands of new people's lives every day that sign up for ID.me service, which is great.